Who's ready for a goddamn rant today? I know I am. That and more next on the Cowboy and the Hawk's Nest podcast. Welcome, guys. It's me, your host, Aaron. Today we will be getting into a big rant and the rest of the round of 16 games in the MLS's back tournament. And we'll be talking about some players who are opting out of playing this year in the NFL. So let's get into it. First, let's start off with the players. I understand and I support them. I support their willingness to opt out of this year's season because of COVID-19. Especially Dante Hightower, one of the linebackers for the New England Patriots, because he has I believe it's 2-month-old child, and he's concerned for his family's safety. I support any player who is opting out of the season for family reasons, keeping their family safe from COVID this year. They should know that they shouldn't get paid though, because they're not performing their service. I know it's a little bit harsh to say, but they failed to show up for this year's games. They should have money saved up from their contracts, except for the rookies. That's pretty much all I have to say about that. Good luck to all the players in keeping safe. I pray for you and your families. And now we get into the big topic, the round of 16 in the MLS's back tournament. Time to go through all of these games. I've already talked about 2 of the games, but we're going to go over them again. Orlando SC and Montreal Impact. Score was 1-0 in favor of the Orlando City Soccer Club, with Tesho Akindele scoring the 1 goal for Orlando City. This game shouldn't have ended 1-0. This game should have ended 3-0, possibly even 4-0. Orlando City had so many chances to make more than 1 goal in this game. And Thierry Henry, the coach of the Montreal Impact, is lucky that he's coming out with just a 1-0 defeat in the round of 16. Second game, Philadelphia Union versus the New England Revolution, with a score of 1-0 in the Philadelphia Union's favor. The one person to score, Sergio Santos, with Ramiro Montero assisting. Not really much to say. This was more of along the lines of the rest of the New England Revolution games. Pretty boring. Not too much. Not even scrappy. It was just one of those soccer matches to watch. Now we get into the better games. Toronto FC versus NYCFC. You guys remember my prediction? It was Toronto FC beating the brakes off of NYCFC. And guess what happened? The exact opposite. NYCFC demolished Toronto with a score of 3-1, with Jesus Medina, with Valentin Castellanos, and Maximiliano Morales, all scoring goals, with Morales with 1 assist. I expected Toronto to do so much better than they did. Like, holy cow. I know they were missing Ayo Akinola, but Josie Altidore was playing. You don't think you could have gotten more than 1 goal? And the 1 goal from Toronto was from Patrick Mullins. Josie Altidore did help assist on the goal, but I would have thought that Altidore would have at least scored 1. Next up, we have Sporting Kansas City versus the Vancouver Whitecaps. It was tied, and for this tournament, all of these knockout games will not have extra time and will go immediately to penalty kicks right after the end of regulation. And this was a nail-biter. I got to give props to the Vancouver goalie, Thomas Hasal, third-string 19-year-old from Saskatoon. He probably wasn't planning on playing at all this tournament because their first-string goalie was staying back and the second string was playing. He didn't think that the goalie was going to get injured and that he'd have to come in and step in. And boy, did he step in a big way. He did a great job saving everything that Kansas City brought his way. And even in the end, in PKs, that takes a mentally tough person to play goalkeeper in a PK situation. So props to him. I'm sure you're going to get a bigger contract and possibly even start for another team in MLS or any other league because you are the truth, Mr. Hasal. But in the end, Sporting Kansas City won on penalty kicks and they move on. Next match, an absolute goal fest. San Jose versus Real Salt Lake, with San Jose scoring 5 and Real scoring 2. For San Jose, Christian Espinoza scored 1. Magnus Eriksson scored 1 and assisted on 1. Vako, a.k.a. Valeri Kazishvili, scored 1 and assisted on 1. And of course, Chris Wondolowski, the MLS's all-time goal-scoring leader, scores 1 as well. And for Real Salt Lake, Douglas Martinez and Damir Krelach scored their goals. I'm telling you right now, I think that the team that has the best chance to dethrone LAFC is San Jose. San Jose has not, I repeat, not backed down from any team. They've played the way that they want to play and succeeded at it every single game. Next game, the Columbus Crew SC versus Minnesota United FC. And what do you know? Another tie, this time 1-1, with Jossie Zardes scoring for the Columbus Crew and Robin Lode scoring for Minnesota. This surprised me a heck of a lot because the Columbus Crew got literally the max amount of points that is available for the regular season during this MLS's back tournament. They won every single game up to this point because the Columbus Crew lost in PKs to Minnesota. I am shocked and disappointed because Columbus is so much better than that. Not taking away anything from Minnesota United because they played excellently. But Columbus should have won this game. They have the better roster. They have the better coach in Caleb Porter. They have better, pretty much everything, better players. But they lost in PKs. And now for the Mega Rant to cover 2 games. Let's start with the last game of the round of 16. Portland Timbers versus FC Cincinnati. Another game that goes to PKs. With Jaroslav Nizgoda scoring the goal for the Timbers and Jurgen Lokeda scoring the PK goal for FC Cincinnati. And the Timbers winning 4-2 on penalties. If there are any Timbers fans listening to this, any at all, you should be quaking in your boots to play your next game. Absolutely quaking. Because you scored 1 goal against a team in FC Cincinnati who has had more managers in 3 years than you have in your entire franchise history. Your players are way better. And the reason why you almost lost is because your goalkeeper got cute. Instead of just falling on a ball, collecting it safely, and pretty much securing a W, the goalkeeper decided to stop it with his foot, chop it with his foot, make spin come on the ball so that it would stop almost right in front of him. But what he didn't know was there was a forward for FC Cincinnati barreling down on him, and he was like, oh shoot, I gotta fall on it. And in the process of falling on it, the forward for Cincinnati flicked the ball and got tackled by the arms of the goalkeeper inside the box, giving up the PK. You should be thanking your lucky stars that you even made it to penalty kicks. Because FC Cincinnati worked their way back up and attacked for the last 10 minutes of the game after the penalty kick. And you barely fended them off. And you got lucky in penalty kicks that you didn't lose because they sent up a center back with, no PK experience, whatsoever. They were nervous the entire time. And you're lucky. And you're about to be destroyed by NYCFC because they just took down the reigning defending champions of the Eastern Conference. They have a better squad than you, by far. And I'm going to laugh so hard when you lose to NYCFC. And now, to the biggest part of the rant. LAFC versus your Seattle. No, you don't even deserve to have your name mentioned in this game because of how poorly you played. There was a press conference after this game from Brian Schmelzer saying that he wouldn't throw any of the players under the bus for this one. He wouldn't say that is the reason why we lost. By the way, the score was 4-1, with Will Bruin scoring for the Seattle Sounders and Diego Rossi, Latif Blessing, and Brian Rodriguez scoring for LAFC. But anyway, Brian Schmelzer said he wouldn't call out anyone. Too bad I'm not Brian Schmelzer. Arriaga, you sucked the entire game. The entire game. You, by yourself, gave up 2 goals. 2 of them. Both to Diego Rossi. I mean, who at the beginning of the game thinks to go to ground at the top of the box to Diego Rossi? No, you gotta stand up and be strong and follow him. Not just dive and stick your leg out. And to be honest, it didn't even look like you caught him, but he still dove and acted like it. And the ref gave him the penalty. What goes through your mind perplexes me. Because what also happened, Diego Rossi took the ball from your feet back in our own penalty box. You couldn't at least stick an arm out, not pushing him off, just an arm bar to keep him off you while you kick the ball clear. No, you got to get cute and play with the ball a little bit. And to all the fans who are saying, oh, it's such a shame that we're dogging on Arriaga now when he shut down Carlos Vela in the Western Conference Finals. To all of you fans, shut up. You know damn well that was the most physical game of soccer you have ever seen. And every single challenge, every single tackle from Arriaga and Roman Torres should have been called penalties. But the ref decided to make this game physical. Any normal playoff game, every single one of Arriaga's challenges would have been called a foul, or he would have been given a yellow card. So we've been dogging on him pretty much his entire stint from last November to now. Shane O'Neill, the other center back for the Seattle Sounders. I understand that shoulder little blip that caused the second goal, I realized that was an accident. I can understand how that could be an accident. But you were still shit the entire game. Like, you need Yaimar Gomez Andrade to be your second center back right next to you. The offense. Everyone from Christian Roldan to Handwala Bawana, Nico, Jordan, Raul. You guys need to communicate better. Or something. Because I saw too many errant passes. Gustav Svensson. You're a great defensive mid. I know you are. You played for Sweden and got to the quarterfinals in the World Cup. You were great. The problem is, it's not that we don't need your defensive acuity. We need an offensive push. You're not giving that. You need to, at the same time, while you're defending like you're a center back, because that's how you defend. You defend very well. But at the same time, Yaimar Gomez, in the first game we played, looked more offensive than you. And you should have taken cues from that. You should have pushed the tempo up. While LAFC is pressing you guys, you have to push the tempo up and have them say, "Oh crap, they're pushing us, we gotta fall back a little. Because our defense can't handle it. And our midfield can't get back in time. You gotta push up." I am gonna give props though. Props and some criticism. Leerdam and Nuhu. You two were the two best defenders. It's not saying much, but you were still the two best defenders. I loved the crossing from Leerdam. You were so great in your crosses. Our offense just needed to be there when you crossed it. And Nuhu, you were great going up. You need to learn from Leerdam, though, on how to cross. But other than that, you were fine. You were probably the best defender that night. Because you were able to get back and help the center backs with their lackadaisical job. More cheers to the two youngsters that got their first taste. Or the one youngster, that got a taste of the field. Ethan Doubleair, player for Tacoma Defiance. And I saw you won the Adidas, it's like the Adidas Cup or under 17 Cup or something like that. Congratulations. You finally saw MLS pitch. Too bad it was too late to do anything, but congratulations. And also to Josh Atencio. You did great too. And finally, Brian Schmelzer. You have a great philosophy. I like your philosophy a whole lot. But there's one main thing that I have to pick on you at. You gotta learn how to make substitutes. Not only make substitutes, make the right ones. Let's take this LAFC match for example. The first substitute that you make is taking off Handwala Bawana and putting on Shandon Hopau. That's an alright substitution, granted, but not the one that needed to happen then. 20 minutes later, you then take off Nuhu Tola and Kevin Leardam, your two best defenders, by the way, that night, and bring on Jovan Jones and Will Bruin. Don't get me wrong, those two that you subbed on, they made the only goal. They were the sole reason why we had one goal and this wasn't a shutout. Because Jovan Jones made a beautiful cross to Will Bruin on the backside to score a fantastic goal. Almost had a second one, too. They both almost combined for 2 assists and 2 goals. But they needed to come on sooner. And you needed to take Handwala Bawana out for Will Bruin, and you needed to take Gustav Svensson out and put Jovan Jones in so that we can up that tempo and still have the worker that is Christian Roldan. Speaking of Roldan, you were probably one of the only members that I can't criticize for this match because you were all over the place. You pushed tempo and were in the faces of every single LAFC player. Jordan Morris is good, but needed to have more communication with Nico and Raul and Fry. Fry, despite having 4 goals, the 4 goals weren't his fault. Like, I can only put 1 goal on here that was probably Fry's fault, and that's the last goal in the 89th minute. With Diego Rossi scoring that penalty kick from Arriaga, Latif Blessing would have gotten blocked if it hadn't been off the shoulder of Shane O'Neill, forcing the ball in the opposite direction that Fry was diving, and he probably would have saved Latif Blessing's shot. And the second Diego Rossi goal, that was because of Arriaga again making bad decision making. That was torture to watch. Absolute torture. By the way, fuck the Timbers Army and the 2535. They can both go to hell. That's enough of me ranting. Sorry to leave on a bad note, but damn, I'm in a bad mood because of those games. Thank you for listening to the Cowboy and the Hawks Nest podcast. This is your host, Aaron. Always remember, go Hawks. How about them Cowboys? And the Sounders don't deserve me singing Born in 1974. Have a nice day, bitches.